Look at this lawn now. It's coming along beautifully. Got where the odd toadstool keeps popping up here and there, but we'll get rid of them at some point. But now that's coming along beautifully now. Needs a good cut. But at least it's lovely and thick. It's thicker up this end than up that end, sorry, than it is this end. A little bit patchy here, but we'll throw some more seed down at some point. Lovely. Did a bit of work on the roof. That's all now completely watertight. Lovely. A lot better on both sides. That's exactly what I want. Got a little magnet on the bottom of the door so that keeps it shut. Got a little bit of storage going on in here though. We'll sort that out. Up here, lovely. Nice bit of carpet. Keeps it a bit more cosy up here. It's got to be, still got to be cut to perfect shape. I'm working on that at the moment. Lights are fitted and the lights work really well. I've just got to tidy up the cables, the wires. But it's looking lovely now, and I've got to clean the windows, get rid of a few cobwebbies. But they've been up here playing with their toys. Obviously the baskets are empty and the toys are everywhere, but at least it's a lot more cozy up here now compared to what it was, and they can play in the dark. The next thing to sort out is heat. Next thing to sort out is heat. I've got some 12-volt heaters that I'm thinking I could put. I'm going to put one along the wall, probably. I might put it this side along the wall there. That would be a nice 12-volt heater. Nothing to do with any flames or anything, electric, so no fire hazard. They can't burn themselves on it because it doesn't get hot enough, but I reckon it'll be hot enough. And I'll put another one up here. I might put it along this wall, I might put it along that wall probably. Maybe somewhere, I'll work it out, but it'll be hot enough that I reckon it'll keep it warm in here for them. The bottom is insulated. All that behind all that plywood is all insulation. Look, there you can see that I've got to put a little bit of polished plywood across the top of that, keep the insulation in. Looks like you stuffed a card down there. I'll have to get that out. But then I run out of insulation and I run out of plywood when I got to doing the top part. You see where I ran out. I might still carry on and do the insulation, but then again I might not, because I quite like it like this. You can see all the wood and all the grain and everything. I think it's quite nice. What we can do around here, because it goes all the way around. It goes all the way around there like that, if you look. So, you know, not really sure what I'm going to do about insulation yet. I might not do it. I might just keep the little 12-volt heaters in here. They can wear bloody coats in the winter, you know, but at least it'll be a little bit more cosy for them. A little bit of a chocolate brownie there, look. Oh, dropped it. They sit up here and they eat food, and oh man, the other day I found food everywhere. I had to pick it all up. Look at that old scraper, look. Isn't that fantastic? Love toys like that. Oh, Bob. Oh, he hasn't got an apron. I think it's probably snapped off. I think they probably destroyed it. I think it did, yeah, went on those little clips there. Look. Bob. I probably had a cab on it as well. There you go. Lovely old scraper. Oh, you can see where there's a part on there. That's the trouble, you see. Kids, they do destroy everything. But there you go. Lovely old metal toy scraper. I've got all sorts. I've got diggers, scrapers. I haven't got any bulldozers. I haven't got any graders. There's a roller over there, a metal roller, amongst all the dinosaurs. It's being attacked by various different dinosaurs. But yeah, anyway, back to it. That's what I'm going to do. Like I say, might continue with the insulation. I might not. I've got all the way done all that under there. Did I do the ceiling? No, I didn't get round to doing the ceiling there, but I did do the ceiling up there. Weirdly enough, I didn't put any insulation. I just boarded it. But yeah, there you go, you lot. Wires go out there for the feed for the electric. Got to plug up a few little holes. There's a hole there that's got to be plugged up. That's not a hole to the outside, that's just a hole to the next part. As you go around, that's just a hole that goes in there. So yeah, nice one. Righto, you lot, that's that. I'll plug up that hole there as well. And another one, there's a few more. And I've got to paint the outside. Love it. The old post box needs a bit of attention. The door fell off of it, but that'll be alright. And then clear some of that out. Got that pallet, I might use that for something. Not really sure what yet. I haven't been able to even give it away. I tried to sell it, nobody wanted to buy it. So I've been trying to give it away, nobody wants it for free. So I have to work something out for that. We haven't long got back from a camping trip, so I've got to sort out all of this stuff, you know, that was in the front of the trailer tent. Because yeah, it's just a mess, look at it. I don't know why it's like that. I must have gone in there for something. Oh yeah, right, let's do this coat. In case any of you might be wondering why I've not done any CB videos or anything recently, let me show you why. This is 2778125, channel 19, and ever since my new neighbours have moved in and they've put up all their fancy LED lights and all they've got Alexas, they've got all sorts of stuff in their posh house. They're very rich people. That's the noise level that I've got on the 19, and that noise level carries around the whole 40 channels all the time. The time now is 7:30 on a Sunday morning, and it's still like that now. So that's wiped out CB for me pretty much. I can only really hear people that are really close. I can't hear anyone else. I can't hear any distant stations. I can't hear Kent. I can't hear anyone, well, anyone really. So yeah, that's the reason, you lot. I haven't spoke to anybody on the CB for bloody months now, really. But yeah, man, that's that. I mean, yeah, I could go and get Ofcom involved. For a start, I could say to them, hey, look, you've interfered with my CB hobby there. I don't really appreciate that too much. What can we do about it? But I've got a funny feeling that they'll just be like, oh, and then it will open up a can of worms, and then they'll say, well, that aerial's ugly anyway, blah, 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 and then they'll cause a lot of trouble, and then it'll just be a nightmare, because at the moment they're leaving it alone, even that's on my house. They're leaving it alone, so I don't want to open up a can of worms. And if I go and get Ofcom involved, it's not interfering with any ham. 10 metres is alright, 2 metres is alright. It's only CB that's affected, not any ham. And I don't know, if I go to Ofcom and say, well, I can't use CB, but my ham's alright, they might be like, oh, well, I'll use ham then. Do you know what I mean? I don't think they'll be that bothered about CB. They might if it was ham, and the ham was interfered with, but it was CB, I don't think they're going to be interested. They might. You'll probably prove me wrong and put in the comments they will. But at the moment, I think I'll be opening up a can of worms if I start making a fuss about it. So I'm going to leave it for a few more months and see if the noise calms down. But they've got all kinds of posh gadgets because they're very rich, posh people. They've got everything is electronic, LED lights and all sorts. And it just messes up radio big time. But that's another problem for another day. But you've lot have been commenting, where's all the CB videos? When are you going to do a CB video? Well, I can't talk to anyone. But I do still want to get some new CBs and do some testing and reviews. I can still go out in the car and put an aerial on the car and do things like that. So as soon as I get the available funds, we will be doing so. Check this out, you lot. I got that coat in 2009. When I used to be a welder, it used to be, that's why it's got that company. I can show all of that. Doesn't matter, that company there don't exist anymore. Well, they do exist, they've just got a different name. But yeah, I got this coat from them when I used to work for them, and 2009. It's a good old coat, but it's lost its waterproofness. So just sticking a bit of this stuff on it, and then I can continue to wear that coat. It's a very good coat. I do like it a lot.
Shake my booty.
Shake your booty. Some songs that they make, some songs, these people, and they just make you laugh, don't they? I just wish I could shake my booty. I love it. Right, I've got the new one now. This is the new pipe from what was it called? Custom Campers UK. Okay, so For those of you that don't know, this is for the Talbot Express, and it's the little cylinder head coolant pipe. And the first one I ordered was the 14mm one. Didn't fit because it turns out that the pipe that I got on there has already corroded away and it all fell apart, so that didn't fit. So I had to get this, and this is the version 2, the upgraded one. Not upgraded, the not upgraded, bloody bigger size. The bigger size one, 16mm, and it comes with a 16mm tap. There you go. And yeah, so I'm going to fit that later on today. I've got a few errands to run this morning, and then I've got a few jobs to do, but that I need to try and get on that today. So we've got the radiator flush. I'm going to put that in it after I put all this together. I'm going to put the flush in it, get it up to temperature, get rid of all the crap and stuff in it, because the water that keeps coming out of that radiator is black. So I thought we'd put some of this in it, and then once that's all clean and the water's coming out clear, after I keep running it for a while, then we'll put the old antifreeze in it, and then hopefully we'll be alright and I can go and sort out the problem with the headlight. But yep, I can't do that right now because there's no point, because by the time I get all my tools out the front and start messing around, I'll have to go out. So I'm going to leave that for now. I've got half an hour to spare, so I'm going to do a bit of tidying up in here, and then I'll go and run all the errands I've got to run, and then I can carry on with life and go and fix the old Talbot. But hopefully that one should work pretty well now. All I've got to do, I've got to find a drill bit that's big enough to run along inside the head to get rid of all the crap that's inside the head. So I need to find a drill bit. You know what, sometimes when you get like a Chinese thing, sometimes they give you absolute rubbish boxes. Sometimes they give you bloody good boxes. I mean, those solar lights come in a Chinese box because obviously they were made in China. I mean, of course they were made in China. They don't make stuff like that in England. But the box that they've given it, it's a nice sturdy cardboard box. I mean, I can almost not bear to throw it away, but it's going to have to go into recycling because I've got no use for it and it's in the way. But that is a bloody nice box. I can't believe it. Even the little thing works, look. That's perfect. Look at that. That is a lovely box. And even, unbelievable, like, you know. But it's going to have to go into recycling because I've got no need for a nice box. So, see you later, box. Got me bag of tent pegs here, look. Because normally I'd keep these. Ordinarily, these would stay in the trailer with the tent. But, bloody, the ground was so hard on our last camping trip. The ground was so hard. Every single peg that I banged in ended up bloody bending. So I thought, oh, that one's alright. I didn't use all the pegs obviously, but every one that I did use, it took me ages to sort of move the pegs around to try and find. It's not because the ground was hard, it was nice soft soil, but you'd get, you know, the peg would go probably about that far in, and then it did a bit of concrete or a brick or something. You know, obviously when they made that piece, it's obviously man-made ground. And what they've done is they've just covered up hardcore and bricks and stuff, obviously. That was alright, look at that one. Yeah, but it was a little bit like that. So I thought to myself, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to fill this bag up with all the bent ones, as well as obviously there's loads of good ones in it. I didn't use them all, I got loads. Collected loads over the years. But I thought, you know what I'll do? I'll bring them all home like that. And I can straighten them all out. They're not hard to straighten out, just need a hammer and something hard. I've got concrete or bricks and stuff. I need an anvil really, but I ain't got an anvil, so yeah, these ones are alright. But I've got bags and bags. I've got another 3 bags like this full up with tent pegs. So it's not as if I haven't got enough, but I just don't like wasting. A lot of people probably throw that away, but not me. I'm going to be straightening them up later on. That's looking a lot better now, a lot more tidier. Oh, got that around the middle. There we go, lovely. It's looking a lot better. Still got the dirty water, the 2 cookers there, another cooker down there, spare bit of gas, spare feet, bin bags, they can live down in there now. Yeah, proper nice and tidy, just the way that I like. Got to keep things tidy. So, some of you might know that I have ghosts around, right? I've got little people or big people, whoever, ghosts everywhere, right? And sometimes things go missing, sometimes then they pop back up again and whatnot, you know, tools, boxes, whatever it might be, things go missing and then all of a sudden they turn up again. Well, the latest thing that's been missing now for a few months is my overalls. I've got blue overalls. I've worn them in videos before. You know what they look like. Blue overalls. But they've gone. They've gone. They've vanished. I wore them last when I was working on the Talbot. When I was doing the... What was I doing? I think I was doing the gearbox and the engine mounts as the last time. No, I was doing the brakes. I might have been doing the brakes. Anyway, wore them then. I took them off in here like I always do. Ever since then, they've vanished. They're not indoors. They have not gone in the wash. The wash has been obviously gone around many times. The washing bin is empty. It's not down the back of the washing bin. It's not anywhere. There, they've vanished. My overalls have vanished. I've looked in every cupboard. I've looked in every box. I've looked everywhere that I can think of. You know, I've even looked on top of them lights because I've got a tarpaulin up there and some saws. And I thought maybe I've stuffed them up there. They're not up there. They're not anywhere. I've even looked all the way up here. Look, there's just no overalls anywhere. So what the bloody hell has happened to them? I ain't got a clue. Right, let's sort this bloody box out. I've got this box of stuff here, and the reason why it's a box of stuff is because every time I find something that I want to keep and I don't want to get rid of, I put it in this box, and then the box becomes a bigger box, and no, I've got stuff in it. Why? I don't even know. Look, this is a nice handy tub. I don't want to throw it away, but what am I doing with it? Nothing. But I'm going to put it up there for now. That's a piece of rag. That's a good handy bit of rag. Look, I've got an air filter. I'm not going to use an air filter like this, but there's nothing wrong with it. I did try to sell it. Nobody wanted to buy it. So now I've stuck with this air filter. But do I throw it away? I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's a brand new air filter. I bought it to put on the Discovery. I had it on the Discovery for about 2 weeks. Decided I didn't like it on there. Put the old air filter back on. But what do I do with it? You know? So tricky, man. So tricky. I've got to be a bit more ruthless. Look, carry a bag folded up. I'll keep that. Ice scrapers. Are we really going to get ice again in this country? Probably not. But there's nothing wrong with these ice scrapers. They're perfectly fine. They're not broken. There's nothing wrong with them. So I'm going to put them up there. This light. Actually, I'm going to keep this. This is a very handy voltmeter. There's nothing wrong with this anyway, and it works. I know it works because I used it recently. So I'm going to keep this, and it's got 12 volt, a 20 volt positive and negative on the top there. So I could use this for 12 volt applications, and it measures volts. So that's very handy. I'm going to put that over there because I can use that. This light, look, bloody. I've got a light with a plug on the end of it. The light doesn't work. I think the bulb's definitely gone on it, but the rest of the light, nothing wrong with it. Do I keep it? Do I throw it? There's nothing wrong with it. You know, it's just one of them things. But I think I'm gonna be ruthless, and what I'm gonna do is I'm not even gonna keep the wire. I don't think. I think I'm literally just gonna keep the plug because the plug is always handy. The light and the wire, do I really want it? No. In the bin. My gear pillars, I'm not going to throw them away, they're a tool. But I did lose the nut and the bolt for one of them, so one of the legs has come off. So I've got to try and find a nut and bolt that will go on there, but they're a tool, so they'll go over there and I'll put them in a toolbox. So I've got this brand spanking new pair of mud flaps. Bear Mach, or however you bloody pronounce that. They're for a Land Rover Discovery. They would fit on a Defender. Brand new, in the packet, never opened. Bought them for the Discovery when I had the Discovery. Never fitted them, because one of the things that I bought them meant to get round to fitting, but I never did. Brand new, made in bloody India. But, man, I've tried to sell them. Nobody wants them. Am I going to bin them? I'm not going to bin them. Because they're just a brand new product. What a waste would that be? I've got a roller tray. Do I really want an old roller tray? I'm going to put it with the other one. There we go. So now I've got the little roller trays with the big roller tray. What we've got here? I've got a plug. This is supposed to be for a Kirby Legend. But when I bought it and it turned up, the Kirby Legend plug is red. The wire is red. But it turned up, the picture was red. when it turned up a black cable, I complained to the company, and they said, that's the right one. I said, no it ain't, it's meant to be red, this is black. They said, it doesn't matter about the colour, it still works. I said, I don't care, I want the red one, because I want it to match. I'm trying to restore an old vacuum cleaner here. So they give me my money back, and I've still got the plug. So, do I really want it? No. Is it any good for anything? Yes. There's loads of things that have got that plug on the end, and it's a nice long wire. Am I going to use it for anything anytime soon? No, I'm not. So what the hell am I supposed to do with it? I don't bloody know, you lot. Put that up there. Right, and I've got a nice bit of thick cable there. I'll keep that. And I've got a fuse, 2 fuses here. Don't know what amperage they are. Oh, it says on here, look. 30 amp. 2 30 amp fuses. And this is the little cover. That's the little cover that goes on the top there. Now this is quite old. I had this when I had my Citroen Saxo, and I had an amp. I had 2 amps in the boot and a sub, 6x9s in the doors. No, 6x9s in the parcel shelf. And what are the ones that go in the doors? The door speakers, I forget what size they are. And this is all the cabling. Look, Fusion. Don't make them no more, I don't think Fusion are about anymore. I've got so much of this. Oh, I've got another one. Another fuse. See, look, these will always come in handy. Cables and fuses, they'll always come in handy. There's just never a time when... There's always a time when you need wire. You're like, oh, I need a bit of wire for this. I need a fuse for that. I've got loads. So I'm going to be keeping that. I'm going to get rid of that. I've got a Henry floor tool. Why have I got a Henry floor tool? I've got 2 Henrys, but I'm pretty sure I've already got floor tools, but I better keep that just in case, because if I throw that away, I know what will happen. The floor tool will break, and then I'll be like, oh, I've got another one somewhere. No, I haven't. I threw it away. What we got here? A cigarette plug. Oh, look, and it's got a little plug on the end of it for something or another. Well, that will come in handy. I'd better keep that. Stick that there. Bit of coax. Little bit of coax there. We've got a PL259 on the other end, so that might come in handy. What we got here? We've got some earth. What do they call that? Sheathing, I think. If you're in America, do you call it sheathing in America? I don't know what we call it here, but it's a cover that goes over the earth wire on 240 volt electronics. Some more coax with another PL259. Bloody hell. Am I really going to want all this coax? The answer is no. So, cut the PL259 off. That will always come in handy. I can desolder that, and I can reuse that if ever I need to. Put that in that pot. The coax, no, that can go in the bin. I'll keep the earth because that's brand new. What we got here? All we got in this box now is just wire. That's all that's in this box. Oh look, that's my mount that used to go on the Discovery. This used to go on the Land Rover Discovery. It's a good mount, this one. It's probably seized up now. It is seized up. It's got bloody. Still got me little earthing ground plane wire on it because I needed to do that get it to work. Yeah, we've got a lot of rust underneath there. Look, that's well seized, but it's still a good mount. There's nothing wrong with the mount. The cable's faded and gone like a greeny colour, but I'm not going to get rid of that. That's a good mount that just needs to be catalogued and put away in its properly and folded up. So I'll put that up there. That can be kept. What we got here? We got a HDMI cable. Why have we got a HDMI cable? I have no idea. I don't have anything that's HDMI. But again, if I ever come across something that needs a HDMI cable, and I won't have to go out and buy one, I've got one already here, so that doesn't make any sense to throw that away, does it? Right. What else we got in here then? Another plug. What's on the end of the plug? We'll find out. A switch. Ah. Nothing on the actual end of the wire, but we've got a switch with a 240 plug on it. Do you know what I mean? Like, that would come in massively handy if I ever need to put a switch on something. So I think I'll keep that. I'll do that up and I'll keep that. What's this? This is some coax. Very, very thin, badly made coax by the looks of it. RG58 Spectra. Spectra RG58, 50 ohm coax cable. Unispectra or something that says on there. Oh, it don't look very good cable, look at that. It don't look very good cable. Is it worth keeping that? There's only like that much there. Am I going to need it? No. In the bin that goes. Cigarette plug, they always come in handy. I'm always looking for them. Nice bit of wiring. What did I have that on? I think I had that on a burner or something. I did. But it's a nice thick gauge piece of wire. Look at that. There's no reason to get rid of that because that's perfectly good wire. It's nice. So if I get rid of that, I'll be looking for a bit of wire and then I'll be like, oh, where's that wire gone? Oh, that's a plug. That cost money. I bought that at some point because I know I would have done. So I'll keep that. I'm going to have to make like a wire box with all the bits of wires in that I can actually put away somewhere, because this box, I move it, it's on top of the seat at the moment, and then I want the seat, so I move it, I'll put it on top of something else, and then I want that, so I move it around. I just keep moving the bloody box of stuff around. That's the problem. Don't want to be doing that. Bloody hell, that's thick wire, isn't it? Wonder what I use that for. Look at that, you lot. That's a lovely piece of wire. I won't be getting rid of that. Don't know what I would have used that for, or where it would have even come from. But that is very handy. I'll definitely be rolling that up and keeping that. Another HDMI cable. So now I've got two HDMI cables. Deary me. Another piece of coax, RG58, with a PL259 on the end. See you later, coax. Hello PL259, that's a good one with the brown on the inside, not a cheap crappy Chinese one that melts. Another cigarette plug, 12 volt plug, very handy. I'll keep that, I'm always looking for them. Some speaker wire, still with the little crimps on the end. This would have come out of my Saxo as well because I had fusion amps. This is fusion wire. I had fusion amps, 2 amps in the boot, a sub, all the speakers, tweeters, a lot, and all went onto my Sony head unit, which I've still got somewhere. I don't know where it went. Nice bit of speaker wire. Do I want speaker wire? It's quite small. You know, I can easily put that in a little box somewhere. It's not like a massive thing that's in the way, so I'm going to keep that. And then we've got a little charging cable. Oh look, it's got a little Dean's plug on the end. Bloody hell. Because my screen's broken on the camera, I keep forgetting, are you up, are you down? Are you up, are you down? There you are. All I can see is a bit of an outline of what I'm actually filming. So, yeah, I think, do I want to keep the Dean's plug though? I don't think I'll waste the Dean's plug. I think I'll keep the Dean's plug, but I'm going to get rid of the actual wire itself. There's no need for me to keep. I've got bloody loads and loads of wire. So I'm going to chop that off of there. You know, sometimes you just got to be a bit brutal, you know what I mean? Like, you collect all these things just in case you might need them one day. But all they end up doing is getting in the way. So there's the bin. Now if you can see the bin, can you? That's going to come off of there. Thank you. See you later. See you later. Bit of solder comes off as well. Don't want that on there. Bit of wire. There you go. I can just heat that up, get rid of the solder later on. That'll be absolutely fine. Dean's plug. I'll put that with my collection of old Dean's plugs. And now we've got an empty box. Thank goodness for that. Right, see you later. I wonder if I can make use of this little tub I got here. Look. Bloody hell, there's so much stuff on this bench. It's like unbelievable, you know what I mean? But I wonder if I can... Oh, all the wires going in the water. Oh, dearie me. Pardon me. Right, this earth stuff, I just don't need it, but I can't throw it away because there's nothing wrong with it. So I'm going to put that up there. Alright, lovely. Oh, that's sorted out. That's on the roof. Right. That can go in the radio shack. So I'll put this in the Radio Shack now. There you go, in the Radio Shack. See you later. Right, now I've got this cigarette plug here. 2 of them. Right, let's get this out. Right. I've got a place for my PL259s, so I can put them in there. Now this little tub, I can make use of this little tub. So if I put that there, look, I can put in these cigarette plugs. They can go in there. Now this 240 volt, I want it ideally, normally when I make it, I like to keep 240 volts separate from 12 volt. But I think in this situation, I'm going to wrap all the wires up that I can, put them in this tub, because it's a smaller tub. I'll then be able to just stuff this tub in the corner somewhere and forget about it. And then I've got a tub of wires, you know what I mean, and cigarette plugs. So that can go there. That air filter, I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I might make a hat out of it or something. I don't know what the bloody I'm going to do with that. But I can't throw it away because there's nothing wrong with it. Speaker cable, that can go in there. Speaker wire. So these are 12 volt fuses and 12 volt, well, this is 12 volt wire. I don't know what amperage it's. Super flow power cable it says on it. It's all it says, super flow. It doesn't say what amperage it's rated to or anything like that. But if it goes to a 30 amp fuse, I'd imagine at the very minimum it would be 30 amps rating. But they won't fit in my little tub, so I'm going to have to keep them out of the way separate. Put them in here for now until I find a place for them. Oh, dearie me. Right, so we got this. Oh, that's that thick wire. This is that thick cable. It's got no writing on the outside of it, but it's very thick and very nice. So I'm going to put that in that tub. That can go in there nicely. There we go. Look, we're getting a nice little tub of wires there now. This is what I like. This bloody cable, I don't know what to do with it. I'm half tempted just to throw it in the bin. You know what? 3, 2, 1. In the bin. See you later. Right. Now, what we've got these HDMI cables, which I don't need for anything, but that's going in there anyway. This nice piece of wire, positive and negative wire, and I can put that in there like that. There we go. Lovely job. That can go like that. And then, right, so all I've got left is this mount. I might rip off that piece of wire. I don't need that for anything. That can go in the bin, just a random piece of wire. This mount, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to reel it up for now. But then later on, when I get a bit of time, I think I'll oil up the thread on that so that it doesn't rust away completely. Because it was a very good mount. It cost me a bloody money, you know, it was like 20 quid that mount. I was getting a bit desperate. I really wanted the radio to work on the Discovery, so I ended up just buying this mount, and it's a good mount, just worth its money. Yeah. The other ones, the cheaper ones, they just didn't seem to work very well. They weren't very good at all. But right, that's that round up. There we go. So what I'm going to do later on, I'm going to spray a bit of oil around that and try and get that loosened up, just so that's not rusting away while it's in the cupboard. I'll probably oil up the other threads as well and all of that. Proper jam solid that one is, and at least I've still got a good mount. If it was the other crappy mounts, I wouldn't be doing that. I'd be probably throwing it in the bin. But there you go. So now I've reduced this. I've got a little tub of wire, nice little tub of wire, and the other stuff's gone in the bin. This is going to go and be oiled up and put on the shelf for the rest of the mounts, and everyone's happy. So I've just plugged this little meter in. I plugged it into a 12 volt supply, and it doesn't. Oh, it's working now. So it doesn't work like that. But if you move it, ta-da! We got, what's that reading? That's reading 10, 11, 12, 13. It's reading nearly 14 volts, but we've got 13.8. So that's about right. There you go. It's reading a bit better now. So it does actually work. It's just got a loose wire, a loose connection in the back there. So I might even take it off now. Shall I take it off now? Let's have a look. What we got? Take off these. We've got. I'm assuming these screws, these little Phillips screws, are what's holding it together. But we'll take these out. Not that one wants to come out. That one don't want to come out either. Maybe these screws are on the old. I'll take them screws out. Take them off as well. No. Ah, there we go. Right, so it's not them. It's not the bottom screws. It's these two screws at the top that hold it all together. So then the wire comes through, and then we've got the two little connections there. A little resistor by the looks of it, and that goes onto the back of that. But at the moment we're not reading anything. So what's the loose wire? Still not reading anything. But we've definitely got a loose wire somewhere. I'm moving them around. None of them are making it work now. Must have a loose wire somewhere. Huh. That's weird. Huh. Not that that would matter, it's just annoying me. I wonder why. Oh, there we go. Okay. So the loose wire is not on the meter. The loose wire is on these connections at the back here where someone soldered them together. And it's, yeah. Right. That's alright then, that's a relief. So, well, it's not a relief. It just means I haven't got to mess around with the actual meter itself. It means I've just got to mess around with the with them wires. Lovely. Put these screws back in, and that'll be that. Don't know if you can hear in the background, someone's trying to talk through the signal 9 of noise, and they're not getting through. Never mind, let's put the screws back in, and that'll be that done. Righto, you lot. So I've got a plug, another plug. I've got to try and find a place for. Look, I've got this whole bucket full of plugs. There's plugs in here. There's little nails. Just screws, chipboard screws. I don't really know what's in there. More little screws. I've got all sorts of stuff. Small nuts and washers. Little, I don't even know what that is. Little things. All this has all got to be sorted out at some point. Little grommets for things. Those are the little nubby things off of like milk cartons. You know, like you get the chocolate milkshakes and all that. Don't know what that's all about. But all that's got to be sorted out. So at least I've got a nice little tub full of wire now. I can put that somewhere, and that's not in the way. Gets rid of that massive box. Catch you on the next one, you lot. Enjoy yourselves, won't you? Ciao for now. Just a little bit to add on the end. I was going to put it on another video and make another video, but it ain't enough footage to make a video from, so I'll put it in into this one. I've just been out there trying to do the little coolant head water pipe on the Talbot, and the kit, I've left the other bit of it in there, but the kit that I bought from Custom Campers is the 16mm one, so they give you the 16mm tap and all that kind of stuff, which is brilliant. And he said to me, he said, run a drill bit through the old hole where the pipe used to be that's only just bigger than the hole to get rid of the old pipe. So I took his advice. A drill bit that's only just bigger than a 12mm goes in the hole, and it just slots in nicely. A 12mm drill bit from here. It's 12mm bit there that goes in, and it's a nice fit, just slots in. So I thought, well, the next one up, I haven't got a 12.5. Well, I have actually got a 12.5 in here, I think. No, I haven't. I've got 12, and the next one up's 13. So I put the 13mm one in there, and you know, just slightly bigger than the hole. It didn't go in by hand. I had to put it in the drill and drill it out. As you can see, there's a little bit of swarf on the little bit. So, but I'm thinking to myself, he said, put a drill bit in that's only just bigger than the hole to clean out the old bit of pipe. So that's what I've done. But I'm thinking to myself, if I've got a 16mm tap, 16 times 1.5, right, mil tap, I'm going to need a bigger drill bit than 13mm, because for a 16mm tap you need about 14.5mm drill bit, or 14.5mm hole. I think it's a bit more like 14.7 or some rubbish like that. So I'm thinking, how am I going to tap a hole that's too small for this tap? So I carried on anyway. Sure enough, it don't fit. Obviously. Now you'd think to yourself, why don't I just run a 14.5mm drill bit through the holding? Well, I'm missing the 13. All the drill bits, all them have been snapped. This is old. I've got a newer set. But the biggest bit that I've got is 13mm. I haven't got a 14mm or a 14.5mm bit, so I've been stopped in my tracks. Yeah, so there we go. Then again, I've got to go and save up a bit of money, go and buy myself another drill bit set, or at least a bigger drill bit, maybe just a 14mm. I think they're about 5 or 6 quid, looking in Screwfix. Then I can finally do this. So we'll get there eventually. So yeah, a little bit then. I thought I'd add it on the end of this one, because I did go out there and try and film it, but because nothing was working, I thought, what's the bloody point? So I've got to go and get a 14.5mm drill bit, and then I'll be able to tap that and finally do that. I did think it was a bit strange. Well, when he said to me, run a drill bit for us just bigger than the hole. So I thought, right, no problem. I didn't think about what size it would be. It's only when I'm looking through and I realised that a 13mm wouldn't quite go in. You know, a 12mm slotted in and a 13mm wouldn't quite go in. So I've drilled it out to 13mm now, but it's still not big enough to put the tap in, because obviously you need a 14 or so mil hole for a 16mm tap. So, because obviously you've got to cut the threads. For those of you that might be thinking, how does that work? A 16mm tap and a 14mm hole? That ain't gonna work. Well, because when you think about it, right, you're making threads in the wall of the hole, aren't you? So you need a hole that's smaller, because if you've got a hole that's 16mm, you're not going to have any meat to actually make the threads in the hole, are you? So you need the hole that you're drilling's got to be smaller than the actual tap, because then that way it can make its threads, and the top part of the thread, the pointed part of the thread will be 14mm, and the deep part of the thread, the little valleys inside, they will be 16mm, because they've been cut out to the size of the tap. So, but anyway, I suppose sometimes when you take people's advice, you've got to think yourself, and you've got to think. Because if I'd have thought about that, I could have got myself a drill bit set before I started doing this. I could have ordered it last week or something, but I've got to wait 2 or 3 weeks, a couple more paydays come along, save up a bit of money, and then I'll get myself another drill bit, and then I can go and do it. I didn't get any further on the headlight either. It's still messed up. I'll catch you on the next one, you lot. All the best.